It is the Riot on Radio U, 8772 Radio U. I make no apologies for the fact that I have been a My Epic fan. Am I a super fan? Probably not, because I'm saying that and you're like, dude, you should see the My Epic tattoo I have on my back. I
You're
don't
not
have one.
you're not that type, but man, you always, and you're smart to do this, you always go back for their long career for My Epic and bring back the projects and the albums and stuff and give those another listen. And you just, it's always such good stuff to bring back. Even if it's older, you just keep listening to it again.
Yeah, I mean, especially the Ultraviolet album, like, man, I really, really connected with that album. And this morning, we're getting an opportunity to connect with My Epic.
Good morning, Nate. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about you guys?
We're doing very good, thank you.
Nate,
Nice.
your glasses are fantastic.
Thank you.
Do we
Yeah,
want to describe them, Obi, for those? If you want to hop onto Facebook, if you go to Radio U Riot, you can actually watch our interview, or if you go to Radio U on Facebook, but they are amazing, and you can see Nate while he's there.
If they have 6 sides, is that a hexagon? Am I getting that?
Okay, so there's a little bit to unpack. Is it 6 sides? Is it a septagonal shape? I can't decide because there's like sort of a short side on either side of my face.
Oh, sure.
It's not like octagonal, but we could maybe do the whole interview about that, I guess, if we needed to.
Would it be maybe like honeycomb sort of look to it? But yeah, I mean, it kind of works. The glasses are good. Obi's been wanting to change his out or go back to contacts.
Yeah.
Dude, change them up, man. I'm telling you what. I have like at this point I think I have close to 10 pairs that I rotate out.
Okay.
So it's just been I
Well,
buy them online for like really cheap. I have a really terrible prescription, but I found a great website that I buy them from, and I think this pair was like $25. So
dude,
not a lot
we're
of money.
glasses buddies. What's your website? Because I got one too.
I use Zenny Optical.
Yes,
That's
we're Zenny
Yeah.
brothers. We're Zenny brothers. I love it.
Yeah.
for lots of inexpensive eyeglasses. But you never change yours out, Obi. You just have the same ones. You got to get more.
Well, I am now. I'm
Change
getting
them,
octagon
man.
glasses. It's happening.
Yeah, man. Seriously, I'm so happy with these. I feel like for stuff like this, I can just show up and now I appear fashionable. I've done nothing to impress you other than wear septagonal glasses.
And he noticed, so it worked. It was exactly worth
Totally
it.
worked, dude.
This is Nate with
up.
My Epic. Just to let you guys know as a heads up, if you're a fan of My Epic, their new music video for a redo of their song Lower Still is on Radio UTV. So it's definitely worth a watch because you can catch like the 10 years of My Epic. You can take a look back and see clips throughout the band's history.
So, what
Yeah.
inspired the? I assume it's probably the COVID thing, but has that been what got you to go like, we need a music video? So why don't we just throw together this footage?
Well, so the story for that video and that collaboration is actually kind of interesting because this year was supposed to be sort of a celebration the entire year of the 10-year anniversary of that record yet. And we had a bunch of things like in the works. We had a huge tour. Well, we actually had 2 legs of tours that were going to go and cover like the whole country. That was going to take place like the first tour is going to be in May, like all of May, and then the next tour was going to be all of November, basically. And obviously that all got canceled, in March and April. We were like, okay, this is not happening. And then we also had a vinyl re-release planned, and then the label, sort of said like, we just don't think this is the right time to do it. And so, one of the other things was that we were like, oh, with the vinyl coming out, we should like kind of remix a song and do a video and celebrate sort of the history of the band. And so this is like the one remaining thing that did happen.
Oh, out of all the plans that you guys had. Oh, well, at least this was still
Yeah.
able to happen.
Right. So it's like it's kind of strange, like in a vacuum, to put out a song like a like mixed and sort of reimagined idea like from that record in isolation. But I do think it's like still fitting to sort of celebrate that record and how much it meant to fans, and it really like launched the career of the band. And even though I wasn't really, I've only been in the band now for about 5 years, so that's 5 years then past my time, but it's still been like a huge part of me being in the band. And it's just like, that was the jumping on point. Like actually when I met those guys like 10 years ago, that's like the era that I know them from. So it's just a meaningful time, and a good like opportunity for us to celebrate.
Well, for the music video, like I mentioned, you can check it out at Radio UTV for the 10th anniversary. And Nate, for My Epic, you guys can just maybe celebrate the 11th year anniversary and do hopefully the tour stuff next year.
Yeah. We're hoping, I mean, whenever it makes sense, really. Like the touring thing is complicated because we know that we're not like the biggest band in the world, and that once the wheels start turning on touring, it's going to be all the big bands that get all the priority. So it's like, we're sort of we have a mindset of like just trying to figure out what the replacement is until that makes sense.
What are you guys doing in the meantime? You're at home. If you guys are not watching online right now, you should, because we gotten a little bit of a peek at Nate's home studio. He's got a Watchman annotated edition in the background. He's got 3 or 4 keyboards. There's guitars. I mean, this is a true artist here.
He's got
So
a good
what are
setup.
you doing? He does. So what are you doing in the meantime? Obviously, you guys have put this video out, but you said your 2020 basically got canceled. What does a band like My Epic do in the meantime?
Well, I would say we're in an interesting position because we are a band that has been around for a long time, but we are in some ways like more active, and trying to be more active than ever, possibly. It's hard to say, like obviously when you're in your mid 20s, you're like really going for it. And now we're a decade past that, but um I guess on a personal level, yes, like I mean, this is my home studio. I co-own a studio here in Atlanta called Glow in the Dark, which, if anybody knows studios, like uh Glow in the Dark is like a pretty historic, um cool spot, like Under Oath recorded there, Copeland, and like all these great The Chariot, and like all these great classic Tooth and Nail solid state bands and stuff, did records there with my coworker and co-owner, Matt Goldman. So I do that in my free time. That's like we just reopened the studio this year, um and that's been a huge project. But on the My Epic front, we started a Patreon, so which is patreon.com/the epicenter, and that's been a huge like undertaking. And so with the Patreon, we actually release like acoustic music and reimagine songs that way. We have a podcast called Between the Notes, so we've been doing that to like have another outlet for creativity. We're working on a new record. um like we have a couple other things I can't really talk about, but like big things are happening that we're like,
Sure.
the wheels are turning on. But yeah, I mean, really the biggest thing being the new record is like we're like really in the thick of writing it. We're like well over halfway. We've got at least a dozen songs written, so it's like it's happening.
Right on. So we're talking to Nate from My Epic. He's given us a little behind the scenes peek at what My Epic is doing while they're stuck at home, mostly like the rest of us. And it sounds like you have exciting things in the works. What do you want for Christmas?
Oh, good question.
Oh my gosh. I haven't even thought about it. I just thought about Christmas was a thing. I thought 2020 maybe Christmas wasn't gonna be a thing, but then I heard a little song, and I was like, "Oh, it's happening." People.
It's still going to be here. We're still going to do it. So any options, or you still have to think that one through?
Well, okay, hold on. I think, oh man, what would be awesome?
I mean, Santa listens to our show, so this is your shot.
Yeah, that's true. He told me that one time. He does listen. He's
Yeah.
he's big into it.
See,
I really
it's not-
want.
Yeah.
This is so stupid, but I've been looking at iPad Pros. That's like kind of beyond what mostly I would get for like Christmas budget wise. That's probably not going to
Sure.
happen, but
But if everybody
man,
works
it's
together and like
nice.
When you were younger, you could just say, hey, you can just get me this for the next 2 Christmases, and that's all I want. And maybe you could still
I
get
didn't
it.
wheel and deal like that. That's why I never got anything good. Just kidding, Mom and Dad. I got all the best stuff.
Well, Nate, we're so excited for My Epic. I mean, obviously, we were disappointed that we couldn't have the touring and stuff this year, but the new album, and then next year will bring a lot of great stuff too. And don't forget to watch the music video for Lower Still on Radio UTV. It's just a really fun look back at the 10 years for My Epic and their anniversary.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks so much for hanging with us, dude. We appreciate you.
Dude, thank you. This has been awesome.